According to the Deloitte Shift Index, 80% of people are dissatisfied with their jobs. These environments are often defined by isolation and distrust, places where we feel we must constantly look over our shoulders to protect our own interests. This friction is a result of a biological mismatch. To fix the modern workplace, we have to look back at the ancient evolutionary systems that govern how we interact and survive. In August 2002, Air Force Captain Mike "Johnny" Brawley was flying an A-10 Warthog high above the Afghan mountains. The night was pitch black, and a thick cloud cover completely obscured the ground. When a radio call reported 22 Special Operations Forces pinned down by enemy fire, Johnny Bravo pointed his plane down through the treacherous clouds, risking a fatal mountain crash to provide close air support. He made this decision because he had trained himself to relate to the men on the ground, imagining the gunfire and the fear they felt in that moment. His empathy triggered a survival mechanism that prioritized the group's life over his own immediate safety. This diagram illustrates the evolutionary adaptation known as the circle of safety. Early humans survived predators and limited resources by sticking together. When we feel safe, we pool our energy to face external threats. If trust breaks down, we must protect ourselves from each other. Leaders can audit the strength of this circle by observing how they respond to struggle. When performance drops, the most effective response is a simple check on well-being. Are you okay? A leader serves as the biological guardian of this perimeter, ensuring that every person inside feels protected enough to do their best work. Our behavior is governed by 4 primary chemical incentives, divided into selfish and selfless. Endorphins and dopamine are the selfish chemicals that drive individual achievement, providing satisfaction when we hit a goal. Serotonin and oxytocin are the selfless chemicals that build bonds of trust. They require social connection, rewarding us for cooperating to protect the tribe. When the circle of safety is compromised, the brain perceives a threat and releases cortisol. This ancient stress hormone prepares the body for a sudden fight-or-flight response by turning off non-essential functions, including the immune system and the ability to release oxytocin. Because cortisol shuts down long-term health functions to handle immediate danger, a workplace defined by constant anxiety becomes a biological hazard. It physically weakens us and strips away our natural inclination to cooperate. In the 1980s, corporate culture shifted toward destructive abundance. Managing by spreadsheets replaced managing people, which turned human beings into abstract metrics to be manipulated for profit. Jack Welch's era at General Electric represents the peak of this shift. He fostered a culture of internal competition and prioritized short-term share prices over the stability of his workforce. This dopamine-heavy model created high growth, but it left the people inside feeling disposable. Bob Chapman took a different path at Barry Wehmiller. He built a culture where the focus remained on the well-being of the employees. By putting people before metrics, he created an environment rich in oxytocin, leading to long-term stability that outperformed his competitors. To counter the dehumanizing effect of numbers, leaders must physically reconnect with the human impact of their work. Decisions feel different when you can see the faces of the people they will affect. Distance makes it biologically easier for us to cause harm without feeling empathy. Abstraction is dangerous because it removes the very human connection our biology requires to keep us accountable. Captain David Marquette realized that the traditional command and control hierarchy on a submarine was prone to error. In that rigid system, the leader is expected to have all the answers, but they rarely have all the information. Marquette solved this by aligning authority with information. He pushed decision-making power down to the crew members who were closest to the data, allowing the organization to run faster and with greater accuracy. The Marine Corps values this level of integrity above all else. In the Foxhole test, a leader's worth is measured by their character. True leadership hinges on telling the truth and taking absolute responsibility for mistakes, even when it is uncomfortable. You can build trust today by sharing your power. Instead of hoarding knowledge to protect your status, delegate authority and empower your team to lead in their own right. The strength of an organization comes from its collective ability to act, which only happens when power is distributed rather than dictated. In the Marine Corps, a foundational rule of the dining hall is, The most junior personnel are served first, and the senior officers eat last. This ritual is a demonstration of the true cost of leadership. It signals that the person in charge is willing to place the needs of others above their own self-interest. To lead is to choose to run headfirst into the unknown to protect the people behind you. It is a sacrifice of what is yours to save what is ours. When leaders choose to eat last, they reinforce the circle of safety with profound trust. They prove to their team that they are safe, allowing ordinary people to pull together and achieve the extraordinary.